Today, I'm going to give you two extremely powerful techniques to collapse time. So, get out a notebook, get out a pen. You really want to write this down. This is going to change everything. I want to first talk to you about pedestal energy. What exactly is pedestal energy? So, if we recall what collapsing time means, it's when you actually collapse distance. If I'm holding something on a pedestal, meaning it's above me, I'm looking up to it, it's at a distance from me. I am creating that distance. Pedestal energy looks like you really seeing something as above you, seeing something as better than you, seeing something as being out of touch and out of reach. Whenever we want to collapse time, the first thing we actually have to do is normalize the idea of us having this thing or being this thing, meaning we have to demystify it. When we demystify it, we bring it down to earth. As we bring it down to earth, we ground it into reality where we say, hey, this is now on the same level as me. So I want you to think about somebody that maybe you admire or somebody that has something that you want. They're living the lifestyle that you would like to live. They have the certain job position that you want. They're with the type of partner you would love to be with. They have a certain business, whatever. They have something that you want. I want you to recognize where you're placing that person on a pedestal. And every time you do that, what you create in your own subconscious mind or the program that you activate in your own subconscious mind is that could never be me, or it would be really hard for that to become me, or it's going to take a long time before that's my reality. And so whenever we want to collapse time, we have to shift our identity, meaning we have to truly vibrate as the person that already has it. I'm not going to vibrate as the person that already has it if I'm placing this thing or this person or this idea, this picture of reality on a pedestal. I would actually have to make this really normal to me. So when it comes to healing pedestal energy, dissolving pedestal energy, this is what I want you to do. This is going to be really powerful. This is going to blow your mind. This is going to change everything for you. I want you to say, so what? And this is what I mean. You're observing this person, or you're observing people who have this car, this house, this life, whatever that you want. And I want you to just say, so what? So what? So what? Meaning, I also have access to that. And what you start to do is you start to reabsorb your power, reabsorb your own confidence, because comparison, that's another thing, but comparison weakens your vibration. And it weakens your vibration because in that moment, you're not focused on or centered in your direct connection to source. So I really want you to understand something. It doesn't matter what reality anyone else is currently living. No one has access to something that you don't also have access to through your connection with source, right? We all come from the same creator. So it's an illusion. It's actually an impossibility that they would have something that you can't have. So as you're removing it from the pedestal and you go, so what? You start to neutralize your emotional attachment to what you perceive to not already have. Understand this is an emotional attachment. Every time you see it, you go, oh, I don't have it. Every time you see it, you go, oh, but it's not mine yet. Every time you see a person that's doing something that you want to do, you go, oh, but I'm not doing that. If you want to release that emotional attachment, you have to neutralize the story that you're telling about what it means that they have this thing. As the creator, you're giving it meaning. So reality in and of itself does not have a mind of its own. It's only you creating the story. You create the meaning. So if I'm holding something on a pedestal above me, I'm creating that distance. I'm creating the story that this is something I don't have, and this is something that not natural to me. So this I want you to really tune into this energy of things being natural, right? If I say it's so natural for me to be wealthy, it's so natural for me to be healthy. It's so natural for me to be with the love of my life. It's so natural for me to live in a beautiful place, right? It's so natural for me to get everything I want. It's so natural for me to be abundant. That natural essence is ease. It's not, it's above me and it's on a pedestal and I got to work hard to get it and I got to prove and I got to earn and I got to sacrifice and oh my God, I can't believe other people have it, but I don't have it. So this is something you can also say to yourself to begin neutralizing pedestal energy. It's so natural for me to have that. It would be so natural for me to do that and understand that for the universe, it is the most natural thing to organize this for you. And you can actually start to look at people who have what you want, who are doing things you want to be doing as the reflection of what source is doing in their life. And this is why we say, oh, so what? Source can also do that in my life. So we're not saying so what to have a negative judgment towards a person or a thing because we don't have it, right? We don't want to be a hater. We don't want to be in hater energy, but we're saying so what to get our ego to stop dramatizing the desire, stop dramatizing the energy and the story surrounding the desire. Okay. Now, the second technique to collapse time is also going to change your life forever, and it's underdog energy. You know, in movies how we always root for the underdog, right? This is just a part of us as humans. You know, we're seeing a piece of ourselves. When you see the underdog in a movie, you see a part of yourself that was maybe once disempowered, maybe still disempowered, right? So we're rooting for the underdog because we want to see them get on top. Now, what happens is in your own movie, your own reality, you are the main character. And you might not recognize that you've been identifying as the underdog. You might even take pride in that, meaning the masses have been conditioned and programmed to associate or have a sense of honor when it comes to being impoverished or when it comes to being going without, really when it comes to lack. And a lot of this comes from religious programming and all of that, the biblical quote that it's more difficult for a rich man to enter heaven than it is a camel to enter the eye of a needle, right? You know how small the eye of a needle is? And so we can have these collective implanted beliefs surrounding positivity, abundance, well being. And we actually think that by having less, somehow we're earning favor from God, source, universe, the creator. And so we actually are addicted to being the underdog. You might even see people who are extremely successful, wealthy, affluent, and you have this attitude towards them, this negative attitude. How many times have you seen a wealthy person or someone you perceive to be wealthy and maybe they get out of a nice car, or somebody you work with and you can just tell they have a different type of lifestyle, right? However, you're exposed to this person, but notice where you're actually judging and shaming that, because our society, no one says it, but in our society, we tend to judge and shame people who are wealthy and successful secretly. If you're addicted to being the underdog and you're operating in that underdog energy, what happens is you magnetize situations where you always lose. You're comfortable being the loser. I know this is gonna sting a little bit, but somebody's got to be honest with you. You're comfortable being the loser. This can also be indoctrinated in beliefs that circulate in your cultural your cultural or ancestral line, or your lineage, right? We always struggle. We always have to work 10 times hard. I'll never forget when I had a deep ancestral healing and breakthrough, and particularly I'm not sure about other cultures, but I know in African American Black homes, something that's so normal to say is we got to work 10 times harder to create what other people create or to get what other people get. And bear with me, I understand how that has manifested from ancestral pain, right? Where my ancestors have been disempowered and uh, did not have the same privilege of freedom that I have right now. So I'm not out of touch with that reality. However, when I recognized that that was a narrative and a story and an identity that I no longer had to subscribe to, it allowed me to shift into the energy of the victor and the winner. So the energy that I operate now is the energy I operate in now is, of course, I should have everything I want. Of course, this works out for me. Of course, I'm going to land that opportunity. Absolutely. this good thing is going to come to me and happen to me. So I want you to recognize where you're operating in pedestal energy and where you're operating in underdog energy. Understand that both of these energies do not allow you to sit in the identity of the person you would like to be. So, the person you would like to be, who's living this reality that has the thing that you desire, they're not looking up at something and going, oh, that's above me. They're living it. They're literally living in it. It's normal and it's natural. It's normal and it's natural and it's flow and it is now their vibration. So, you've got to find a way to make this your true frequency, your core vibration. And within this identity shift, the version of you that has everything that you want is also no longer relating to themselves as the one who's on the come up. You see, I want you to understand this. If I'm the underdog and I'm on the come up, that creates the time delay because I'm creating the plot in the movie that says I'm in a process of overcoming. So what happens when you are in an energy of overcoming, you actually magnetize struggles and obstacles. So overcoming something is a vibrational match to a struggle or an obstacle because you need something to overcome. You don't want to be the person who sees themselves as continuously overcoming, continuously overcoming, continuously overcoming. You want to see yourself as the person who's in divine mastery, who has this competitive advantage. This is good. See yourself as having divine advantage. The divine advantage, meaning through your connection with God, source, creator, all that is, you already won. Because source is going to organize it, it's going to figure it out, it's going to maneuver, it's going to put you on the path to meet the right person who has the exact information you need with the exact resources, and everything you need is just attracting to you. Source wants to do this for you. The universe wants you to have what you want. And this is why we say what you seek is also seeking you. You wouldn't actually even want it if source wasn't trying to give it to you. So no, you're not an underdog. As you're listening to this, there may be a part of you that you feel dying. It's painful. This can actually be painful because you've been telling this story for so long. And when we collapse this story, we experience an ego death. And from the ego death, we now get to choose who we want to be. You may also be recognizing that up until this point, you've taken pride in the struggle, right? You feel like that's what makes you who you are. And yes, struggle can give us character. It gives us strength. It gives us stamina, endurance. But there will come a point, this tipping point in your life where you have to shift identities. Being the underdog, being the one who's constantly overcoming, being the one who always has a struggle, and then you get to prove yourself through overcoming it. That just creates more of a distance between where you are and where you desire to be. So where you desire to be. So if you want to become a master at collapsing time, you've got to shift out of that and you got to vibrate as the person that's living the most empowered, fulfilling life. And what that looks like is no longer being a victim. So what I want you to do to just further amplify everything we just talked about, the best way for you to normalize and make your desire natural and to also get out of the underdog energy is to surround yourself with people that have what you want. And this is what's going to happen. When you surround yourself with people that have what you want, you're going to actually start synchronizing with their brain waves. So you're going to start harmonizing with their frequency and their vibration. You're going to start thinking like them. You're going to start speaking like them. You're going to start acting like them. You're going to become them. This is one of the fastest ways to collapse time. What's also going to happen is it's going to quickly force you to reconcile your insecurities. And what I mean is when you spend time around people who have what you want, very quickly you will begin to see your own limiting beliefs. You will feel your own insecurities, right? You're sitting in this environment, you feel like you don't belong. But as you're working through that feeling of I don't belong, and you start reconciling within your own spirit, but wait, I do belong. Oh, but wait, I'm spending time with this person. They're human just like me. Okay, you just brought them down off a pedestal. And so you're getting real hands-on exposure and you start demystifying this in your consciousness. and it becomes more available, right? It becomes more accessible. The second most powerful thing you can do to collapse time is to get a mentor. Invest in a mentor that has what you want. Again, you're going to be in their frequency, you're going to be in their energy, and they're going to give you the shortcuts, right? Because likely this person has already gone through so much trial and error, which is why now that they're in a level of expertise where they can sell a service or package something. This also requires you to get out of the broke mindset of, I don't want to invest in myself, right? Because I don't want other people are making money, so I don't want to invest in myself. Okay, they should make money. They should make money for their expertise, and you're going to bypass all of the struggle. So when you pay for a service or a mentor or something like that, and maybe this is just even through a form of buying a book, it doesn't have to be extremely expensive. What's happening is you're paying for the years and years and years of wisdom that they've accumulated. So you actually want to be in an attitude of appreciation and gratitude. Oh wow, I'm going to sit in this person's energy and I'm going to learn, and I'm going to bypass so many hurdles and obstacles because they've already gone through it. This is why in ancient times every master had an apprentice, because the apprentice needed to sit up under the master, whoever was a master of their craft, and they wanted to, understanding that the more they were around this person and the more they observed and watched them, right, really witness them in real time, respond to things, and work within their craft of genius, that all of that wisdom was being imprinted on them. And the thing is, on a subconscious but also cellular level, because whatever happens in your environment is imprinted on your cells, and then it becomes your cellular memory. So then it becomes a part of the true vibration that every particle within your being is operating in. And so you quantum shift into the timeline where that the vibration of your cells, the memory stored in your cells, is now magnetizing in this new timeline everything that's a vibrational match to that. So we want to dissolve pedestal energy, bring it down to earth. This thing has to become normal and natural. We want to no longer identify as the underdog. We want to start becoming the winner. We want to start becoming the one who has divine advantage, meaning everything always works out for me because of my connection with source. And we want to do both of these things. We want to accomplish both of these things by putting ourselves in environments or around people who have what we want already. And then we collapse time and we shift our identity, allowing us to hold the reality that we're asking for.